Hello everyone and welcome to another video at my YouTube channel and blog. Here's the card we'll be making today. I'm starting out by doing some stenciling on some craft cardstock with some Twisted Citron Distress ink. This stencil came from a stamp and stencil set from Recollection, something I picked up at Michael's. It was a 15-piece set that had some really cool stuff in it, but I was really kind of disappointed with the stencil. It was very thin and very hard to work with, so this took me a while to just kind of pounce the color in there. I couldn't really wipe. So here, after painstakingly pouncing the color in there, I got it done. I got it cleaned up with a baby wipe. So now I'm taking it's a leaf and swirl pattern embossing folder by Doris, I think. And I'm just inking it up with some Twisted Citron. And then I'm going to put my paper in there and run it through my Cuttle bag. And then I realized when I took it out that I put the ink on the wrong side. I put it on the crevice side versus the valley side versus the mountain side, and I wanted the ink to be on the raised part. So I just took my sponge tool and just lightly went over the raised areas to ink those up, and it worked out just as well. You can see there that it looks pretty good. Okay, then next I took my wonky stick rectangle by MFT and cut out the craft paper, and then I just took a stitched square die and cut out the embossed square. So now I'm going to take the Dragonflies from that Recollection set, and I'm going to attempt the rock and roll method with some inks to get a dual color of inks on my stamps. And I should have played with this prior to doing the video, but I didn't. So you'll see some experimentation too. I also discovered I need to have something squishy underneath there to give me a better impression. So this was something I struggled with, and I stamped each thing several times, you know, trying to get a look that I was happy with. So I moved on to the middle-sized one and used some kind of a burnt orange and pear color. The first one was like lagoon and thistle, and then after struggling with that, I just decided to do some solid ones, and I'm going to take my Copic markers and see if I can add some shadowing or some detail with some Copic markers to give them a little depth or dimension. All right, so next, just moving on to working on the card base a little bit. I cut out some green paper cardstock to be my first layering piece, and I just inked up the edges with the Twisted Citron. By the way, how'd you like my transition thing? I'm playing with the transition function of my software, so I thought I would try that as I went to and worked on different areas of this card. I thought I would test out the little transition options of this software and see how it looked. And okay, so then next I adhered down the craft layer, and I did it flat, and then I inked up the edges of the embossed panel with the Twisted Citron. I think I inked the edges of the craft panel too, so you want everything to be cohesive and across all your pieces, so you want to ink everything. And then I just used some fun foam that was already had adhesive on one side, and to pop up that embossed layer. The other two layers were adhered flat, so this one I wanted to pop up. Okay, next I'm going to fussy cut these Dragonflies out, and I won't worry you with that. So here's another cute little transition. Yay, there's all my Dragonflies. Okay, so here's where I decided to pick out some Copic markers and just add some shading in. And I used a little bit of a dot pattern too on some of the shading, just to give a little bit of texture. I think I used V12, V01, YR21, YR27, and YG21 on the three different color schemes of my dragonflies. Okay, now I think I'm going to work on my sentiment. And I tapped it first in Versamark ink and then in the Lagoon ink, and then stamped it on the green cardstock, and I'm just going to cover it in some clear embossing powder just to give it a little shine, and just funnel the excess back into the jar. And then just heat set that until melted. And I just trimmed it out and put a fishtail in on one end. Now I'm just going to add adhesive to the back of the embossed panel and get it adhered down. And then I remembered I needed to ink up the edges of my sentiment banner. I said for cohesiveness, just ink up, if you're going to do it on one, ink up all your layers. Okay, now I'm going to stick this down. And I just had these little pop dots laying on my desk. I wouldn't recommend this. I would use some foam tape. A lot easier than dealing with all these little dots. But that's what I had on my desk, so that's what I used. Okay, and then I'm just going to decide on my layout. The littlest dragonfly I just put on with a glue dot, and then I kind of pushed up the edges of the wings, so it just kind of stuck up a little bit. And the other two dragonflies, I'm just going to use some foam tape and stick them down. So then next I decided to take out my liquid pearls and just adding some dots with liquid pearl. Oh, and I did add Winka Stella to the dragonflies. I just didn't get that caught on camera, so they are sparkly now. And there's the finished card, so you can kind of see a little bit of sparkle. Thanks for watching, and please also visit my blog for more pictures and product links. Thank you.